Hello, my name is Evan Curry, and this is my story. So I was born in Kensington, lived there with my parents for the first couple years, and then moved to Oxford Circle, and that's where I grew up. My mom and dad were really first-generation Christians. My dad's dad never attended church. My mom's parents never attended church, but they both came to Bethel on Allegheny Avenue, and that's where they met. At Bethel Allegheny, I took on 2 jobs as a 12-year-old. First, I became a piano player for Children's Church. And second, I became president of what would be the middle school youth group. And both of those positions were really very influential for my future times at Bethel. So overall, I served as worship leader or worship pastor for Bethel for 30 years. And did so at Allegheny Avenue, then at Oxford Avenue, and then at Franklin Mills. And then when my dad passed away, he was chairman of the board. I was elected to be chairman of the board of elders at Bethel. I met my wife Debbie when we were both in junior high school or high school at Bethel, and we got to know each other as friends, started dating, and when we were 20 and 21 years old, we got married right there at Bethel on Allegheny Avenue. Debbie caught cancer when she was 39 years old. I remember getting the phone call when I was at work. I picked up the phone and she shrieked, "Evan, I have cancer." And that hits like a 2x4. So we brought our 4 boys into the kitchen and we told them, "Mommy has cancer." And I remember Philip at 10 years old raising his hand and saying, "Is Mommy going to die?" So the cancer began in stage 1, but a few years later it developed into stage 2, and then a few years after that it developed into stage 4, which is terminal. And on October 15th, 2012, something happened to Debbie. She lost her train of thought. The cancer had moved into her brain. She became erratic, she became uncomfortable, she became confused, and I knew something was terribly wrong. So that night we checked her into hospice. The next morning after we woke up, Pastor Steve came to visit, and as he was visiting, we prayed together. And I really felt at that moment that I needed to pray, "Nevertheless, God, your will be done." And that was a changing moment, and truthfully, just a few minutes after that, I heard Debbie take her last breath. God in His grace gave me a desire to really propel forward after Debbie died. We had battled cancer for 11 years, and frankly, I was very sad to lose Debbie, but I was thrilled to lose cancer in the family. In the same way that God pulled me back into bicycling and God pulled me back into worship, eventually He spurred my heart to want to date again. After enough counseling, my counselor said to me, "Evan, you're ready." So I put my name on Match.com and began checking out the connections that they gave me. And up popped my wife, Lisa. Lisa and I met, we became friends first. We were just hiking buddies, and we would spend time hiking and talking, but slowly in time, it went from being friends to falling in love with one another and me asking her to marry me. Sometimes I think of my life as a Job story. When Debbie died, we were a family of 9, and right now we're a family of 18. You know, I had everything, and then I lost everything, and then God gave it all back to me, but He gave it back double. God doesn't take away all of our problems. God doesn't answer prayers always the way that we want to. But in the end, God sees us through. The Lord's a redeemer, the Lord's a restorer, the Lord sees to our recovery, and He holds our hand through it all. And that's why I always say the Lord is good all the time, and all the time the Lord is good.